Hey, what's going on, guys? Platinum leader Byron Green here, and I want to come at you with something I've been doing a lot of research on, and I really believe it's going to help you understand why we're in Vima and where this thing will take you. And it's simply this. It's something that you're never going to learn in school, you're never going to learn from your parents or teachers or anyone else, and you're not going to actually learn it unless you take the time to research the wealthy. And it's simply that only 3% of our population truly understands what exactly wealth is. So 97% of the population does not understand what wealth is, and that's simply because society has made it that way. Most of our population believes that wealth is money, and so their goal is always to try and find a way to get more money. But that 3% of the population, they understand that wealth is freedom. So what they're making their investments towards is a way to attain that freedom, all right? So most people, what they do is they work 5 days a week when they're in elementary school for 2 days off. 5 days a week, 2 days off. They get into university 5 days a week for 2 days off. They graduate and they start working 5 days a week for 2 days off. When they finally get that raise they've been working towards, they're finally working 6 days a week for 1 day off. All right? And they continue working like that their entire life with the goal to attain that freedom when they're 65. Doesn't really make a lot of sense when you realize what exactly wealth is. All right? So that's the reason that most people, they go out on Fridays, they're so fired up because they have that freedom for 2 days. It doesn't make any sense why people would not want to party on Fridays or Saturdays because they finally have attained that freedom. But it's only 2 days long. All right? But what the wealthy understands is that's a terrible investment. All right? If you put it in terms of money, who would trade $5 to get $2? No one. Doesn't make any sense. And yet people do it their entire lives to eventually get to the point where they're trading $6 for $1. But the wealthy understand that they want to make an investment that can eventually become a good investment. So they have no problem working 7 days a week to eventually work 6 days a week with 1 day off, to eventually work 4 days a week with 3 days off, to eventually work 2 days a week for 5 days off, and then eventually come to the point of financial freedom where they're not working at all and they have 7 days off to do what they truly want to do. I'm not saying they don't work, but they work at what they want to be working at. They have the freedom to do what they want to do. That's why you ask most people if they'd be doing what they were doing if it wasn't for the money, and they wouldn't. Guaranteed they wouldn't be going into work if it wasn't for the money. And that's the reason it's called like the golden handcuffs or something along those lines, because it's true slavery. You're stuck in this thing because you're a slave to money. And so that's why you have to invest your time into something that's actually going to pay you off. It's called the millionaire fast lane instead of the slow lane, where you're investing your time for when you hit 65, when you can finally hit a point where you can have that freedom. All right? So how you do that, you invest your time into an asset that eventually is going to pay you for when you're not working, so you can have that freedom to work on what you want to work on or do what you want to do or travel the world or spend time with your family. So what they're doing is they're spending their time, they're setting goals for how to attain more days off by working less. All right, so they're spending 7 days a week working for that extra, working towards that. And so that's what Vima allows you to do, is that when you first start, Vima does not pay the bills. So you're still working that 5 days a week for 2 days off, which is a perfectly fine investment as long as you have a goal of improving that. As long as where that investment is taking you is so you can eventually have more days off. And so when you're first working at this, understand that it's going to take time and it's going to come at you at a different way, because everyone's just like, wow, you're not even making that much money with it. Well, money's not the goal. The goal is the freedom that you're going to attain from that time that you're putting in. So when you fully understand that, I believe that you'll really start having a lot of success in your career because you're understanding where this is taking you. You're understanding that 3 to 5 years down the road, you're going to hit that freedom. It's a financial plan. It's a freedom plan. It's a wealth plan to get you to where the wealthy really are. All right? So really take the time to understand this video, understand what I'm talking to you about. And if it doesn't make sense to you, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up at 902-229-7027 or hit me up on Facebook or anything like that. Hope to talk to you guys soon. Peace.